this particular thing, though this portion is not there for our evaluation, etc., but this is there in our syllabus. Don't forget. If you don't read that, if you don't have the understanding of that portion, something will be lost from you. Something means when you will be passing 12th standard and when you'll go for your higher education, you will miss out something. So please don't do that. So not with that much stress, not with that much focus. Then also just read these things. Just read, just go through those deleted or so-called deleted rather units also. This is my humble suggestion to you. Okay? Don't take tension of this, as this is non-evaluative. I'm just asking you to go through this so that you will feel whatever you are learning, it has a continuation with all the things. You should not see the or study whatever, whichever subject, means any subject rather. You should not study it in patches. It should be as a whole, remember. It should be as a circle, means whatever, from wherever you have started, you must come to that point again. Having all these things studied by you in your complete journey from this circumference or on this circumference, all the things whatever are given, they should be studied by you. So see that you studied as a core. Okay. Now, let's come to our topics now. Now, for our examination, you are quite aware that 3.5 hours are allotted to you now. That is for this year. You will be given extra 30 minutes, right? Though they are given 30 extra, we won't take it as an extra, right? We'll say that this is a bonus to me, which if at all I need, I'll use. So we'll plan ourselves according to 3 hours for solving the paper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm virtually taking you to the examination hall. Simultaneously, we'll virtually, means we'll imagine that the examination, the question paper is there in our hand. And now let's see how to attempt that question paper, right? In the given time, with all the 4 sections with us, with all the variety of questions with us. Okay, so are you all ready? Right? Yes. So let's go to the examination hall virtually, right? So now let me share the screen. If you allow me, I'll share the screen with you. Okay. I hope the screen is seen. Is it visible? Just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine,
Yes,
fine,
ma'am.
fine.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you. Now just see that these are the things, these are the topics with us. You already know the. Okay. Please don't do such annotations. Okay, just a sec.
Excuse me, ma'am. This was my mistake. I was touching the screen.
Okay, fine.
I
Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
doesn't matter. It's okay.
Was not by the student.
No. Okay.
What I
Understood. Yeah, because the thing is, sometimes students also do these things, and
No.
sometimes by mistake also this happens. So it's
No.
my habit
That's why
actually.
I
When
was
this happens,
clarifying. It's not done by a student.
okay, fine. So let's go ahead. These things are known to you now. Okay, now let's come to this. See that now we are there in the exam hall. Question paper is there with us. You are now allowed to read the question paper, right? Now, when you are reading the question paper, see that you are not allowed to write anything. You are just to go through the paper. Now, I believe that you are taking out notes of this lecture, right? Please note it down, because these are not the, or this lecture is not just for you, but I'll be more glad if you just share these notes with your parents also, so that they'll also know what other things I have told you, and they are knowing these things, they'll also help you in your studies, in the planning of your studies, or in the planning of how to solve the paper. Accordingly, my request will be to them that see whether your wards, whether your children are solving at least 3 papers with the things I have given them. So this will be my request to parents. Thank you. Now, let's be in our exam hall now. We are there in the exam hall. 10 minutes before, I have received the question paper, and now it is there in my hand. So also you are there with me. Now, section A is there in front of me. Question number 1 to 10 are MCQs of 1 mark each. Now I am reading the question paper. Very sorry about the noise which is coming from the school. Very sorry about that, but we won't be diverted by that. You will allow me for this, right? Or you will rather excuse me for this additional sound. So question paper is there in our hand. We are reading question number 1, in which 10 MCQs are there for me, and I am reading the first MCQ. Now see that I have read the first MCQ. I'll read the second, I'll read the third, fourth, till the 10th MCQ. If I feel that I'm not comfortable with any of the MCQ, I'll go to that question, means I'll go to that particular MCQ. I'll read it twice. Just note these things, please. Because what happens is when you go to the exam hall, you are so tense that whatever you have learned till that time, in this increased palpitation, you just forgot. You just lose your confidence by 10% or 20%, say. But we are not doing so in our exam hall now. We will not do it. That's why we are having this mock exam now. Okay. So now say, suppose I was not comfortable with 5th MCQ. After going through 10 MCQs, I was not comfortable with 5th MCQ. So I am reading that MCQ again twice. Please note down the things. So when I have read this MCQ twice, now just leave it. Leave it to your brain. Okay, you are not allowed to think on it now. In this whole course of 10 MCQs, I haven't asked you to think. Remember, I have just asked you to read the questions, all the 10 MCQs, right? So after reading these 10 MCQs, now start reading question number 2, which is also 1 mark question, in which 8 very short answer type of questions are asked. Yeah? Yes? Anybody wants to interpret, means to interrupt? Yes, shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, fine. So now question number 1, 10 MCQs have been read by me. I am starting question number 2, reading, in which 8 very short answer type questions are there with me. I'll be reading them one by one. I'll read all those 8 questions. So see that I have asked you to read only section A first. Again, the same thing will be repeated. If in question number 2, in one of the question I am not comfortable, I'll read it twice. Just see the thing, I am asking you to read it twice. I am not at all asking you to think on it.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Oh, is it? Okay, just a sec, just a sec. I'll check the connection. Yes, it is proper. Now is it
Have
on?
a
Now
patience,
am I?
girls.
Yeah, I'm audible. Am I?
Uh,
Am I audible? Okay. Now I think I'm audible. My okay. I'm audible. Am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just a second. Now am I audible?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now the thing is, I just a minute. Just let me know whether I'm okay. Fine, fine. So I'm sharing the screen again. Okay. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, fine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So now see that we are there in the class, in the exam hall, and we have read the question number 2 also. If any question is not comfortable, means I am with that question. If I am not comfortable with, I'll just read it twice and leave it on my brain. It will do its work. Huh? It will gather the information which you have studied. It will be ready with the answer after say 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Next, after this, if you have time with you, you start reading section B. We'll start reading section B. In that, question number 3 to question number 14. Okay, now in section A, I just forgot to mention, section A is compulsory question. No options are there in section A because all the questions are having objectives. This one line answer question also is sort of objective only. So no extra question is given to you. So no options are there in section A. Now, section B, you have a lot of options. It's a very fortunate thing for you that right from this section B onwards, you have 1/3 option with you. 1/3 questions are options with you. Now, see the thing from question number 3 to 14. Actually, 12 questions are asked, and out of that, you are to attempt only 8. That's why I said you are having 1/3 option with you in every section from section B onwards. Now, see that in this question number 3 to 14, just go on reading these questions serially from question number 3 to then 4, 5 till 14. See that all these things we are doing before 10:30 a.m. That is before the bell rings, before you are allowed to write the answers. Okay, that is this is the reading time given to us by board. In that reading time only we are reading these 2 sections. Sorry. Now for this section B, we are reading the questions right from 3 to 14. I have read it once. Simple questions are there, as you know. This is very small, short answer type of questions. Only 2 marks questions are there. So how are they now? Now you can note down the things. Here, you may be asked to define certain things. You may be asked to draw a diagram. In case of diagrams, remember that diagram has 2 components in it. One is sketching the diagram, that is drawing, and second is labeling the diagram. So sketching will have half marks and labeling will have half marks. Means sketching 1 mark, labeling 1 mark. Now don't be lazy in labeling the diagram. Whatever labels you are knowing, write down each and every in that diagram. Just don't think about the marks. That if for 1 mark, I'll write only 2 labels, I'll write only 4 labels. No. The labeling is actually describing the diagram. So as you draw the diagram, you know each and everything. So don't be lazy in labeling the diagram. Label it very neatly, whatever label, how many labels you are knowing of that diagram, label them or write them. Okay. So 2 types of questions I told you. First, definition. Second was labels. Third might be small differentiations. Differentiations may be asked in this section. 2 points will be asked in each of the sections. So this is also simple to you. Third type of question I told you. Fourth is small derivations. Okay, very small derivations of say 4 to 5 steps. These small derivations will be asked in this question number 2 or other section B, say 2 marks questions. Okay, so note down these things. And this will be contained in first 7 questions, say, which are theoretical. Out of these 12 questions, 7 are theory and 5 questions will be of numericals. So these theoretical questions we have dealt with now, and now 5 numericals will be remaining. Right? Now, when you have gone through this section B I am reading now, I have understood the type of question, theory questions. I am comfortable with them. And then 5 numericals are there. I am going to read those also one by one. Tasnim Miss, Sumaya Miss, I am not co-host now. So would you please make me? Sumaya madam, please make
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
You are mute, ma'am.
Myself, but let me see whether I am co-host. Yeah, yes. Fine, thank you. Okay. So is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, so we were talking about section B. I'm now reading the numericals from section B, right? Now, when I'm reading these numericals, my brain is telling me whether I'm comfortable with these numericals or not. Okay? And now, just go through these numericals. If you feel any of these numericals as difficult, again, follow the same procedure. We'll just read these numerical twice and leave it to our brain now. Now, I think within 10 minutes, you can read section A and section B only. I don't think that in these 10 minutes, you will be able to read section C. Now, by this I mean, I'm suggesting you rather, don't read section C and section D immediately. Note it down. Don't give stress on our brain. Later on, after completing section A and section B solving, later on we'll be reading section C and section D. So right now, or for time being, we are just reading section A and section B. You will be reading these 2 sections only until the bell rings and you are allowed to solve the questions. So now see that bell has rung. 10:30 a.m. it is, say, and now you are solving the question paper. First, fill in all the details very neat that you have already done because answer papers are given to you earlier only. So now immediately start solving the paper. Write down first section A. Question number 1, MCQs. Below that, leave 1 line space I repeat, leave one line space and write down question number, first sub question, number 1. In front of that number 1, now concentrate yourself on the 7th instruction. For each MCQ, correct answer must be written along with its alphabet. So you are to write down the correct alphabet first and then the words of that answer. So write the answer over here in front of this alphabet. And remember that after writing the answer of first MCQ, you will leave one line space. Leave one line. Okay. Then the second MCQ, again you will solve it neat. Leave one line again. Now, in between all these things, I just want you to remind that there might be 1 or 2 MCQs about which you are not confident. You may take little bit more time to solve it. Okay. So just do one thing. Either draw a line in front of that particular question number, because you are to solve MCQs serially only. Write down this and please make sure that whenever you are solving practice papers at home, you follow these instructions over there. Please remind yourself of this particular thing. So you are to solve MCQs serially. So if I'm stuck with question number, with third MCQ, I'll just write the number 3, and in front of that, I'll just have a mark, a line, a very small line by pencil. Okay, so that I can shift to question number 4 now. So fourth MCQ, about which I'm confident I'll solve that. Fifth, I'm confident. Sixth, now for sixth MCQ, let us say I'm again stuck up. So what I'll do is I'll have the pencil in my hand. I'll just draw a dash in front of that. I'll go to question number 7, then 8, and 9, and 10. Okay. So whatever I think I'm comfortable with, I'm confident with, I'll solve those questions immediately. Remember this. Okay. And now about these 2 questions, question number 3 and question number 6. I was stuck up with these 2 MCQs. Now, if possible, I'll solve them right away. Okay, within a minute or 2. Let us say within 2 minutes, I'll solve them. Please note down these things. Now, if I'm unable to solve it within 2 minutes, I'll leave these 2 MCQs for that particular time. I'll leave them there. Okay, because I'm going to think on these MCQs afterwards, after I have solved the complete paper. Getting me? Please note this.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Oh,
Yes.
so
we are not facing the problems which are coming in the papers. We are solving all the difficulties which are coming in the way. So technical, maybe that is technical or anything else that we are going to solve, and we will win then. So just have a patience. We'll start now. Please unmute, ma'am.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think now I'm quite audible. Am I?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. And sorry
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
disturbances. Okay, now I think I am quite audible and the screen is neatly visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it's fine. So now we shall continue. Okay, now I was talking about the, just a sec. We were actually discussing the question paper solving, right? So,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, just a sec. About this, we'll talk now. We were talking about the MCQs which we were solving, and the questions, the MCQs have been solved by us now. I told you that if we have, are stuck up with any of the MCQs, we'll just think on that in 2 minutes. If at all in 2 minutes we are unable to solve it, we'll just leave it as it is, and we'll go further and we'll decide, or we'll rather think about these MCQs at the end of the paper, right? Now, let's come to VSA, that is question number 2. 8 questions are there, 1 mark question is there. Remember that these questions are really easy. Only 2 questions will be difficult in this, if at all they are, or because the 2 numericals will be asked in this VSA. So, and in MCQs, you are having 3 numericals in MCQ. 7 will be theory and 3 will be in numericals. Those also will be easy. Immediately by substitution, you can get the answer. So this is easy. Also for these 8 one-line answers, they are majoritarily based on knowledge. That is, simple things you can just write it with the help of remembering the answers, or by your rote memory you can write down these answers. Okay, for example, definitions, then so and so, what is it called as, what is the meaning of this, uh, what are the terms involved in the formula, or just modifying the formula. All such things will be asked. That is one line answer basically. If at all a little bit lengthy definition is asked, it will be having 2 lines. But beyond that, the scope of this 1 mark questions is not there. So you comfortably will be solving these 8 marks, 1 line answers. Now, just see the time which we have scheduled, or which we have suggested for solving this section A. For MCQs, as 10 MCQs are there, you are to give 20 minutes maximum. That's why I told you, if at all you are not able to solve it within 2 minutes, just leave it for that time. We'll be thinking on that afterwards. Similarly, for these 8 questions of 1 mark, you are allowed to have only 16 minutes. By this, you can have the calculation, or by this calculation rather, you can understand that for 1 mark, you are allowed to have 2 minutes. Okay. So 2 minutes you can give to 1 mark, and thus within this first 36 minutes, you will be through with your section A. Now see that you may think that 36 minutes are also quite large because it will be a large time for you to solve section A since it is an objective type. You won't need that much time also. Within 20 or 25 minutes max, you can complete this section A. So you can save on time in this section also. This is the maximum time which is stipulated over here, or which is shown over here. Now let's come to section B. Remember that you have just read section A and section B. I have not suggested you to read section C and section D yet. Remember, we are there in the exam hall, we are solving the question paper. So currently around say 11 a.m., that is around half an hour, you have completed section A, and now you are starting section B, question number 3. So now, before you actually start writing the answers, what I'll suggest you is, out of these 12 questions, select 8 questions only. Maximum 8 questions will be selected. No need to have any extra question. Okay, so only select those 8 questions with which you are very confident and very comfortable. So such 8 questions will be now selected, and you can just have a small tick mark beside that question number. Okay, or you can write down these question numbers in your answer paper itself with pencil, because in exam hall, you are not allowed to write anything on your question paper, not with pencil also. So we won't be misbehaving at all. So we will be following all the rules of the examination, and thus we will not write anything on our question paper. Instead, whatever questions I am going to select, I am going to attempt from section B, I'll write those question numbers with pencil in my answer paper only. Beside that section B, where on the fresh page, I am starting section B. So after the writing of these 18 questions from section A, for section B, I have taken a fresh page. I think you are noting down all the things. So you have taken a fresh page. On that fresh page, now you have written section B, and beside this section B only, write down whatever question numbers you are to attempt with pencil, right? So that the selection of questions is now done. Basically, see that selecting the questions should be a task done prior to the solving of questions physically. Okay. Actually, before starting the question, writing the answers, you must spend 1 or 2 minutes. Even if you spend 5 minutes, it's okay. Within these 5 minutes, just select 8 questions which you are going to attempt. Most possibly, confidently, comfortable questions which you can attempt. Okay, now in this, you can bifurcate the questions. If you are very good in theory, you can select all the 7 theory questions and opt for only one numerical. If you think that you are very nice or very skillful, very confident in solving the numericals, select all the 5 numericals and then select only 3 theory questions. Remember, writing theoretical answers takes more time than solving numericals. But understand your forte, understand yourself first, with which section you are comfortable, theory or numericals. Accordingly, select the questions. And now see that you are in the exam hall, you have selected 8 questions, and now start writing them. After, for each rather question, you are allowed to have 4 minutes. You have to solve 8 questions, 2 marks each. So 4 minutes are sufficient for every question. These are just the suggestions. This is the tentative time distribution. Now, you can finish any of the answers in 2 minutes also, in 3 minutes also. There also you can save on time. For numericals, you are confident. You are very prompt in solving the calculations. In doing calculations, say, now, for the numericals, I won't be talking any means as a different part on numericals. In this sequence only, we'll be dealing with every type of question. So let us deal with numericals first. In case of numericals, remember that you know the formula because you have theoretically studied all this. So if formulae are there in your mind, so at least you are able to recall that and you can write the formula. After that, substitution will not be a problem for us, right? Because whatever things are given to you, you are able to recognize them, write in proper format, that is in proper symbolic form, and then see what are the constants required. They are there for you on the first page of question paper. Next, what you have to do is think about the conversions. See whether the system of units followed in all the given things is one or is the same or not. If it is not, you are to convert it, right? So then when you have converted the units in the same system of units, okay, then substitution will be done by you. Now, if you think you are weak or conversions is not your forte, is not your strength, then please from today start learning these conversions again, because till the substitution everybody can reach. I expect every one of you rather, to at least complete substitution part in the exam, so that if at all I am not able to have out of what marks in theory, then I can have at least 1 mark which will be there for me from the formula and substitution. Formula will give me half mark and substitution will give me half mark. So even if I am unable to solve the numerical completely, still I am comfortably gaining 1 mark. At least we won't lose that. Okay, because see that we are to gain marks in the exam. We are to pick up 1 by 1, right? So this 1 mark is also very much important for us. Okay, now let's come to the calculation part. See that in our textbook or many a times, even examiners or even we as paper setters, we have one thing in our mind, that we won't be harassing you. Basically, remember this and trust us. Physics, as it is, you feel it is a difficult subject, which is not actually. But let it be, means it's your thinking, it's okay, we understand. The thing is, we many a times give you such numbers which will require use of log tables to a minimum level. Okay, minimally the use of log table is expected. So many a times you can just solve these numericals also by arithmetic. That is just by mental ability, just by mental calculations, that is using tables or using simple divisions, simple multiplications, you are able to solve the answers. So till that particular point, have the simplification. Just have all these answers in the form of a fraction, say, wherein now you will use log tables. So only the log of numerator and log of denominator will be looked at, or will be looked from the log tables, and then just subtraction, or if the multiplication is there, then addition of the logarithms will be done, and you can get the answer. Okay. So if you think that you are weak in using log tables, please start from today. Just have two numericals, only two numericals. I call them as brain tablets. Okay. So I'm now prescribing you only this particular medicine, that is have two brain tablets after both of the meals. Okay. So after the lunch, you'll solve two numericals only. That to solve these two numericals which are given solved in our textbook. So I repeat, please note it down. Solve the solved numericals from our textbook. Only two of them, only two numericals after lunch, and after your dinner, again solve two numericals. So just limit yourselves for this. Only four numericals per day. That is, you are to solve four numericals daily from today. I hope it won't be a burden to you now. And now you only will notice the difference in your calculating abilities, problem solving skills. You will be noticing the change in this after only 10 or 15 days. But for that, be sure or be strict enough on yourself to solve these four numericals daily. Make a separate notebook for that and solve, I repeat, solve four numericals daily, which are given solved in your textbook. Okay, so I hope you will do this right from today, right? So that till our paper is actually HSC board paper, which is on 3rd of May, you won't be, I think it is on 3rd of May, you just cross check it again. So till that particular time, you will be very thorough and you'll be very comfortable, confident with this problem solving also. So I think I have cleared that problem solving doubt also, right? Now, let us come to theoretical part. We are solving this section B, and in this section B, I told you there may be certain derivations, small derivations, but they may be there in this particular section. So now how to remember these derivations or how to go for these derivations? They may be for 2 marks or they will be for 3 marks also. So we will be talking about these 2 and 3 mark derivations now. So suppose you are having the derivation of, say, banking of roots. Okay. Or you may take the derivation of pressure exerted by the molecules of gas on the walls of the container. Okay. So now see that for this particular derivation,
कौन आइला है ना
you are revising yourself.
चाचा
Okay. You will see that at present, suppose that you are studying this particular derivation. Okay. Now, when you are going through this derivation, see that there is a diagram. So while I am drawing the diagram, I am remembering or I am recollecting, I am revising the system which I have taken for this particular derivation. That is setup of this particular derivation. That as I am remembering, I am able to describe the diagram or I am able to write the complete description of the system. So diagram and description is not a problem for me. Easily I can gain marks in this. Half mark for diagram, half mark for description. 1 mark is there in my pocket. Now, how to start for actual derivation? For that, note down the notes, note down the things which I am telling you now. Remember the first step of each derivation. Because unless you know this step, you won't be able to go further. So very common sense, right? So remember first key step, right? And write this first key step near the diagram in your textbook with pencil. I repeat, identify or remember the first key step. Write this key step near the diagram of this derivation, which is there in your textbook. So you want to write this first key step in the diagram in the textbook only with pencil. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, fine. Thank you, Bata. So you want to write down this key step near the diagram in your notebook, in your textbook itself. Because see that you are revising for the paper, complete physics paper, for 1 or 2 days earlier than our paper from textbook only. I repeat, you will not refer to your notes, but you will be revising from your textbooks. Whatever I'm telling you today, all these are my suggestions. You can modify yourselves, you can modify your things according to your comfort and according to your forte. One of you may say that, Madam, I have listed down all the definitions from every chapter. I have made a separate notebook for that, or I have made a separate list of that. Perfect, doesn't matter. So you can revise those definitions, no doubt, but these definitions will be copied or would have been copied from the textbook only. So you can then go through this list. You can revise from that list also. Some of you may say that, Madam, I have made a list of all the formulae with this description, but see that these formulae are there from the textbook. The nomenclature, the symbols which are used in our textbook, those only will be used by you in the answer paper. Okay, so from this, means the revision will be done like this. Now, such will be the thing for derivation. Now, we are there with the first key step of our derivation. We have remembered that. Now, based on that particular first key step, I can recollect all the rest of the key steps. Now, believe me, in every derivation, you have maximum 4 to 5 key steps. Out of that, first key step is already done, is already written by us, because that we need to learn. To start with, I must remember that first key step. Then, for the based on this first key step, I am able to write 2-3 steps. Means the further 2-3 steps I am able to write. Then there may be a step which will be or which should be remembered by us, so that I can now write further 2-3 steps based on that. So that is also known as a key step. So write down now. You will write the second key step. First of all, you will identify the second key step, and you will write only that key step below the first key step which you have already written near the diagram in your textbook. So you have now a list of key steps near your diagram in the textbook. Followed. Now let us take the example of pressure which we were discussing. So pressure exerted by the molecule on the walls of the container. First of all, I recollect what is meant by pressure. What is the formula of pressure? It is force upon area. So area, as I have taken the cube structure, I know the area of the cube. On one face I am talking about, so I know the area of that particular face. Then force. Now to have that, the force is mechanical, remember. Now to have that force, how can I go for it? I know that it is a mechanical force. I know that Newton's laws are there for me. I'm taking the help of them. So I'll take the help of Newton's second law, which tells me about the magnitude of this force. That is the rate of change of impulse is nothing but the force. Oh, sorry, rate of change of momentum, right? Is the force. So I know that momentum change is there. Now I have started recollecting. Momentum is given, no doubt. As I'm deriving the pressure exerted on the wall, I'll be talking about the momentum received or momentum gained. Whatever momentum is changed by with respect to the wall only. So change in momentum of the wall. Now see that wall is not moving, or wall is not having velocity. So what is the thing which is moving? It's the molecule of the gas. So gas molecule is giving momentum to that wall. So I have started from the asked quantity to the given one. Yeah, this is known as analysis. Synthesis and analysis, right? So I have synthesized all the things, right? From pressure to the velocity of the molecule. Sorry. So now I know that I shall start first with the momentum of the molecule. So my first key step will be momentum associated with the molecule. Now I know as the momentum is associated with the molecule, it will be giving that momentum to the wall. So gain in momentum of the wall is there. So I'll write down that step after the first step. After that, now I know how to find out the force. Now to find out the force, I must be able to find out the change in momentum. So that change in momentum per unit time will be my second key step. Right? I hope I'm quite clear. I hope you are understanding. Do you? Just let me know.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So this will be our second key step now, which you have already listed now near the diagram in the textbook itself, no doubt with pencil, because in the textbook, please don't write down with pen. Write or mark all the IMPs, whatever you want to write with pencil only. So that will be the second key step. Thereafter, I know now the rate of change of momentum. Thereafter, then to find out the pressure, so P is equal to F upon A. That will be my third key step. And that's done, right? Later on, then to find out the RMS velocity and etc. That is our common part or the usual part. It won't be a problem for us. So I hope I am clear in remembering or studying the derivations, right? Whether it is of 2-mark derivation or whether it is of 3 marks derivation, the steps followed will be same. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes.
So shall we go ahead now? So
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
through. Yes, we are through with this section B. And now see that 32 minutes have spent on this. I won't be needing these 32 minutes also. I'll say that I'm able to finish this within 25 minutes or 30 minutes. Half an hour to solve 8 questions, and that too of 2 marks is a lot much time. It's a large time actually. So see that over here I have saved say 5 or 10 minutes. Over here I have saved 5 minutes. So till now I have saved say minimum 10 minutes with me. Right now, see that within first 1 hour, this 30 minutes and this 30 minutes. So now see that the time is 11:30 a.m. Only 1 hour has gone. In 1 hour, you have solved 2 sections, section A and section B, and just calculate the marks. This section A carried 18 marks, and section B is carrying 14 marks, right? No, sorry, 8 marks, 16 marks, sorry. So 18 plus 16. I think it is 34 marks. So approximately 50% paper is now solved by you within first hour, right? So within this 1 hour, you have solved almost 50% of the paper. So now congratulate yourself on that. Appreciate your efforts in solving this 50% of paper. I'm going to tell you one very nice thing from today. Whatever things you are doing, even if you could solve 2 numericals neatly, appreciate yourself, congratulate yourself. Okay, this is the thing we are lacking now, because the blame comes to us. Actually, we as teachers have inculcated this particular thing in your mind, that however clean, however white board may be in front of you, even if a single black spot is there on that particular whiteboard, we are focusing ourselves on that black spot only, right? That's our mistake. Actually, we will now make you understand the importance of all this white thing, which is 99%, and just leave aside this 1% black spot, which is there in us, in everybody, as a matter of fact. Okay. By that, what I try to say is, think on or think about your strong points, your strengths, and neglect your weaknesses for time being. Increase your strengths. For example, I'm good in theory, solving theory questions. I'll improve it again and again. Okay. I'm able to have conversions from the numericals, and I'm able to solve, to write down the formulae. I'll do it again and again. I'll be making myself so confident in whatever I can do, in whatever I am doing, whatever I can do easily. I'll make myself more confident about that. Okay. And then the things, for example, I'm not able to calculate neatly or quickly. I'm not able to use log tables very neatly. I'm not able to add the things. I'm not able to subtract the logs with negative sign or negative characteristic. So what I'll do is, no doubt, I'll be working on my weaknesses. But try to work on your weaknesses one by one. Not all the weaknesses at a time. Remember, that gives you tension. That makes you stressful. We won't be making ourselves stressful now. Else we are taking out stress from ourselves. We are releasing stress. We are making it minimum. Okay. So what we'll do is, we'll make our forte strong. We'll increase our strengths to a lot, so that I can have much time with me to work on my weakness. Getting me? So if I can write down very quickly, if I can write the answers very quickly, if I can solve theoretical 7 questions from section B within very short time, then I have kept longer time with me to solve at least 1 or 2 numericals. Getting my point? Okay. So if you just start doing this as a practice from today, please let your new teachers after 10 or 15 days, how do you feel? So will you do it from today? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Thank you so much. So nice of you. Okay, so 1 hour is there. We are at 11:30 a.m. now. So now what I'll do is, or what I'll ask every one of you to do is, just relax for 5 minutes. Okay, your hand had started penning a little bit. Okay, so give it a little rest. Just relax yourself for 5 minutes. Okay, just shake your hand, just shake your feet without disturbing others, of course. Otherwise, you will disturb others. So that's not allowed. Okay, so just to relax, make yourself comfortable. Drink some one sip of water, just a little bit of water. Make yourself fresh. Okay, close your eyes. Remind or recollect any happy moment in front of your eyes. Just bring that happy moment in front of your eyes, which will make you happy. Okay, and now forget about section A and section B. Even if in section B, you cannot, if you could not attempt 8 questions, you have attempted only 7, say, then also doesn't matter. I'm again and again asking you to congratulate yourself on attempting those 7 questions. Remember, we are to think about whatever we have done now, and we are neglecting whatever we are unable to do. Getting my point? This will make you happy and this will relieve your stress. Even if I'm comfortably writing 5 questions from this essay 1, I am congratulating myself. But yes, I can write down 5 questions neatly. That is going to give me 10 marks. I am happy. I'm congratulating myself. Remember. And so in such a way, or in this way, we have dealt with section A and section B. And now we are forgetting both these sections. Just erase it from your memory now. Right? Now what to do? Read section C only. I think you are noting down the things. Note it. Read section C twice. Now it's time to read section C twice. Remember, remember, I haven't asked you to read section D. I have not asked you to read section C. Remember, sorry, section D. We are reading just section C. Okay? Don't burden your brain by giving more and more tension. Addition of all these 5 questions. Why to give that addition? Why to have that additional burden on our brain? Later on, that is after writing the answers of this section C, we are left with only section D or section D only. So as it is, your brain is going to think on this section D at that time. So why to ask our brain to think on this section D initially, that is using our power, using our capacity of brain, to the later part is not advisable. We are limiting our brain, remember. That's why it can focus on the things which are going on currently. And currently, I am writing the section C. So why am I to give burden of section D on my brain right now at this moment when I'm not attempting section D? Very common things are there. Use common sense. Use your logic very happily and very easily. See, now from today, you are giving training to your brain. You are training your brain to solve the paper very neatly in the given time with lot of efficiency. With its efficiency, not decreased at all within these 3.5 hours. I think you are getting my point, right? Our brain should function for these 3 or 3.5 hours with that particular quality. It should not, the graph should not be tapering or decreasing with negative slope. No, it should be a straight line parallel to x-axis. Remember. So the efficiency of my brain at the start of the exam, that efficiency should be retained by my brain till the end of the exam. Remember. And whatever I am telling you now, just apply it for all the papers, for all the subjects. Okay, please do this. So now I have read section C, each and every question twice. Now the second step comes of selecting 8 questions out of 12. So I will be selecting those 8 questions with which I am very confident and comfortable. Right? So these 8 questions, again, as I have told you, in my answer paper, I have solved section B. Wherever it has ended, leave that page. On the fresh page, start section C. So section C, in the middle of the first line, you have written. And now, take a pencil in your hand, write down the question numbers which you have selected to attempt from section C. So these 8 questions you have written. No 9th question will be written. Remember, no need to write any extra answer. No need. First of all, we'll have all the compulsory things with us. And then if time is there, we'll think about extra questions, whether to solve or not. Followed? So now start writing the questions. See that now, as this is 3 marks question, you can yourself guess that here a little bit lengthy derivations, little bit lengthy numericals will be asked. Any modification in the formula may be asked. For example, say the formula of intensity and amplitude, etc., or the phase difference, path difference formula. Based on that, whether the how will be the bandwidth. Suppose 10 bandwidths are given to you, or the distance between 10 or 20 dark bands is given to you. You are to have the fringe width from that first, and then you will be solving the wavelength required for that. Or a small d, the distance between 2 sources might be asked. Such modified formula, either in theory or in numericals, may be asked in this section. Okay, which will need higher capacity of your brain, which will test the objectives like understanding and application. Okay, so in case of understanding, all these manipulations, conversions, derivations will come, and in application part, numericals will come. Okay, so these objectives will be majority times tested in this section C. Now, for section C, see that as 3 marks questions you will be solving. So for each question we have allotted. See how many minutes have been allotted. You have to go for 8 questions here again, and for that say 60 minutes are given. You also, it means you yourself can just relate the number of questions you need to solve and the minutes or the time given to you. For 8 questions, 60 minutes, 1 hour is given to you. I don't think you will require that 1 hour, right? You may complete it within, say, 45 minutes. But even if you need 1 hour, then also see that Section B or till section B, you have spent just 1 hour. In section C, though you take 1 hour, then also you are landing in your comfortable position. So now all the 3 sections are done. Majority of questions have been solved in just first 2 hours of your exam. And 1 whole hour is there with you for section D. And now this time you are benefited by half an hour again. So you are left with 1.5 hours just for section D. And that's a huge time with us now. So after this section D, again relax yourself. Drink some water. Just shake your hands and feet. Just relax for some time. Have 2 minutes for you. Close your eyes. Let's again happy moments recollect in your mind. Make yourself happy. Make yourself or gift yourself by these happy moments or gift these happy moments to you. Make yourself happy. Don't be stressful. Now congratulate yourself again that within just 2 hours you have finished 75% of question paper. Pat your back. Congratulate yourself so that you will be motivated now for the only last section in which you are to attempt only 3 questions. Though lengthy, only 3 questions. Okay, so we are now in a comfortable position. Are you all or not? Just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
good, good.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
we are in comfortable position. Now we are again reading section D. As I told you again and again, I have been telling you, or I'll tell you, that read each question twice. So 5 questions are asked, out of which you are to attempt only 3, right? So in these 3 questions also, or rather in these 5 questions, 2 questions are completely theoretical questions of 4 marks each. 4-mark theory questions are there, 2 in these 5 questions. Then third, fourth, fifth question, they are having 2 marks theory and 2 marks numericals. Okay. Now, if you are comfortable with theory, you can no doubt solve first 2 questions, which are theoretical. In very less time, quickly you can solve it. And now you are left with just a single question, which comprises of 2 marks theory and 2 marks numerical. So you will take theoretical question first, you will write that answer, and you are to solve the numerical of 2 marks, which is asked in that particular question itself. So for that, as I told you earlier, if no doubt it is an easy numerical. Okay, but if you still not comfortable with this particular numerical, you can just write down the formula. You can substitute the quantities with proper conversions, of course, you will get 1 mark. So instead of losing complete 2 marks, it's always better to gain 1 mark, isn't it? Instead of -2, +1 is having more weightage. So heavy number, right? Thus, we can gain 1 mark in this. So out of 4 marks, I'm able to have 3 marks with me. Just losing 1 mark doesn't matter at all, right? If at all you are not comfortable with calculations, remember, if you think it is difficult, else it will need very less time to solve 2 marks numerical. So no doubt here 36 minutes are given for just 3 questions. Division is simple. 12 minutes are there for 1 question of 4 marks. I think you will not need that much time also. within half an hour, you will be solving these 3 questions. Again, I'm asking you to be very sure about these 3 questions only. Anywhere I have not suggested to go for extra question. Remember, no need to solve any extra question. Okay? Whatever things you are knowing correct, whatever things are required, whatever are the expectations, go till that much only. Okay? Now, this is for everyone. For average students, for below average students, everyone. Now, let's differentiate between the among the students. Actually, I hate this differentiation, but remember, every particular person is different from other. Everyone has got different forte with him or her. So don't think that you are looking down on you. No, it's not so. I'm also not looking down to you. No, not at all. So the thing is, based on our IQ, we differ in intellectual abilities, and we are. To be very frank, please don't be angry, but I'm telling you the facts. We hesitate to accept our weaknesses, right? See that you are not to show somebody how you are, what you are, but identify you or identify yourselves only. You must able to identify you as an individual. Okay, means some of you may be very quick in understanding. They can study a lot. They can sit for in one place for hours together. It's but natural that they can study neat, they can write down answers neat, they can score good marks. But does that mean that any other person is not able to score marks? Though not good, okay, still he or she is able to score marks. How? See the things. As we were talking about the options in this section B, C, and D, remember that these 3 sections, they have 30% options for you. Okay. And there's a good thing for you that options are from different chapters. Previously, just for 1 year, we tried to ask options from that particular chapter only, and that was not comfortable with the students. Students found uncomfortable in that position, so we dropped that idea, and now we are giving you options from other chapters. So you also can limit yourself. Remember, you also can have 30% option from your syllabus. Okay, this is the thing for below average students, remember, and for little bit for average students, not for rankers or for scorers. Remember, to score maximum marks in this exam based on limited syllabus or limited study, limited chapters, I am suggesting now how to score more marks based on less study. That is limiting on chapters. So if such students are there with us, then what you can do is you can limit yourself for 70% of portion. Means if 16 chapters are there, then just take out 70% of that and let me know how many chapters are there. It comes to how many chapters. I think some 11 or 12 chapters it will come to, right? Okay, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can limit yourself for 11 or 12 chapters. 4 chapters, you can keep them as option. Okay, right? So for 12 chapters, you can study a lot. Study it as I told you. Have the section of definitions, have the section of differentiations, have a separate section of formulae, have the separate section of derivations, and then numericals. Okay, if you are studying of these 12 chapters, just study each and every section as I told you for these 12 chapters only. Okay, don't forget to have 2 brain tablets after each meal, as I told you, or as I had suggested. Okay, and now then solve question papers. Last year question paper, the last to last year question paper, based on these 12 chapters or based on your study. Take 15 or 20 days for this. 15 days will be more than sufficient, I think. So after 15 days, today is 1st April. After 16th of April, at least solve 1 or 2 papers, complete papers, having 3 hours time. Sorry, as if you are giving paper in the exam hall. Okay, please ask your parents if they are at home. Ask your parents to supervise you in these 3 hours, because the examination atmosphere should be there. If you have having elder brothers or sisters, even younger brother and sister, just take their help also. Ask them to supervise. Okay, or else, no, if nobody is there at home, please then adjust your time or arrange your papers at that time whenever somebody is there at your home. Okay, if your parents are coming in the evening, then earlier only. That's why I told you that my lectures notes, please share them with your parents and decide a working plan for your study and the schedule of your examinations, which will be home examinations. Okay, because I'm not telling you about only physics, but for each and every subject, these guidelines will be helpful to you. So earlier only, confirm the time with your parents, and then at that time, just let them know that you are there in front of them, and they are going to be supervisors, and you also will be the student at that time giving examination, board examination to be specific, right? So if you then solve paper based on these 12 chapters study, please forward this paper to your subject teachers. Ask them, request them to check this paper so that you will know how many marks you can score on these 12 chapters. And if you are comfortable with those marks, then no doubt, revise these things again and again. Meanwhile, you may think that I can study one more chapter. Nobody is going to oppose you in this. Everybody will welcome you only for this 13th chapter. So go on studying till the 16th chapter, if you feel so. Okay, are you comfortable now? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Good. So I think now every one of you can score many good marks in our board exam, right? Yes? Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And now just see that thus we have solved the paper. And here 16 minutes are still left with me. Now the only and the very important topic is remaining, and that is how to check the answer paper. Note the things. This is very important thing. Now how to check the paper. For MCQs, now we are coming again to those 2 MCQs which were not solved by me at that time, right? Now I have time with me, and now I am again trying myself to solve those MCQs. Okay, so I have solved those MCQs and I have written the answer. Remember, you are to write the answers of these all these MCQs once only in the answer paper. Okay, and that too serially only. Nowhere you will break the sequence. Remember. Okay, now why this? Now see that in the instruction I have told you. If possible, I'll give you the instruction again. I'll just a minute. I'll have that particular thing in front of you again. Yes, here. Only the first attempt will be considered for evaluation. I think this line is quite visible, is it? Or shall I
Yes.
zoom in? Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No, ma'am.
now is it visible?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Fine. See that only the first attempt will be considered for evaluation, right? This means even if you have written the complete set of these 10 MCQs again and again, it won't be considered for evaluation. It won't be checked. Instead, it will be just given a very big cross mark and given zero, big zero. Remember. So wherever you have written these answers for the first time, there only it will be checked or it will be assessed. Okay. Am I clear? So you also won't waste your time. Please don't waste your time. Okay. So that you can get marks for the first attempt only, right? Secondly, I have told you to leave one space, one line space in each and every answer of MCQ. Please be sure of this, because we as examiners are allowed to give you marks in the left margin only of your answer paper. So if you don't give a space to mark that one mark, the total may go wrong. You should be more careful about your marks rather than the examiner. It's you who is attempting the exam, not the examiner. Please remember. So you should be more careful. So I told you to leave one space in after every answer of this MCQ, also after answer of VSA. I hope you will remember. Second, I instructed you to write down new section on new page. Thereafter, as you have selected the questions, those questions also should be written in serial manner. Means, for example, in section B, I have selected question number 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10. First thing. Then I'll write question number 3 first, then 4, then 6, and not 8. Remember, in that selection also, I'll follow the sequence. I'll go for 3, then 4, then 6, then 8, and not 3, then 6, then 4, then 8. No. Don't give trouble. Don't trouble your examiners. Remember, as we are thinking of your psychology, you must think of the examiner's psychology. It's good for you because you are to gain marks. You will not be, or we should not be losers. Remember, we are to gain maximum marks from examiner, and for that you should think about the psyche of examiners as well. So I hope after this, now you are checking the paper now. Remember, so we have written all these answers, MCQs and VSA. Now for VSA, just see the thing. Read the question from the question paper and read the subsequent or the related answer. Okay, read the concerned answer. No doubt, not allowed in mind, but read the answer along with the question, so that even if a small part from the question is remaining, you will understand that, you will recognize that that particular part is remaining or missed out from you, and then you will write that part. Especially in section B and section C, remember, especially in section C, because it's a lengthy question, 3 marks question, may be bifurcated in 2 marks and 1 mark. So 2 marks derivation is asked, and based on that, hence, write down such and such thing. Such may be a question. And as you have read only the first part, 2 marks solving is done, and 1 mark may be missed out from you. So I insist that read the complete question first, and then read the complete answer, and see whether you have written the answer of complete question. You only will come to know even if something is missed out from you. Okay, so I hope now with lot of comfort and with lot of studies, you will be attempting the question paper, and you will be studying joyfully. You will not be stressful at all. You will not take much of tension. Little bit tension that has to be there as exams are there. You all have studied stationary waves. When you have the tension given to the string, then only it emits nice melodious sound, right? So we'll be all passing with colorful marks, right? If we have a little bit tension with us. So let that small tension be with us, but not stress, right? So I think you only will let me know how much successful I am in today's lecture, right? So I'm stopping the screen share, and let's be live. And if any questions are there, please let me know. Sorry for that.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for enlightening our students. It was a very informative lecture, and your question-wise explanation is really praiseworthy. Your tips will surely help the students to release their stress and score good marks. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we have a doubt clearing session.
Will do.
And for this, I hand over to our supervisor, Tasneem Sherkar ma'am. Mubashira ma'am. Please make Tasneem ma'am host.
Yes. Good afternoon, Tasneem madam. I hope you are there.
I think this session is very important, which is doubt clearing or doubt solving session. Uh, uh, Before that, let me tell one story to these students. Why this session is important. Once there was a king, well known for his bravery, kindness. Okay, he was there in jungle for hunting, and what he saw, one object is coming far towards him very fast. He was surprised. What is that? And he stood over there and observed. One small man, approximately 1.5 feet, was standing in front of him and challenging him, "O king, so surprisingly, that king was asked, who are you and what is your aim?
Ah.
So he was telling, I'm not small guy here. I'm Ded Futia. My name is Ded Futia. I'm challenging you for your. I want to fight with you. So I am here. So because he was very kind. King was kind. So he told him, "You are very small to fight with me. Now you do one thing. Go prepare yourself and increase your height approximately with me, and come again. Then we will fight." So he went away, and now after some times, again and again, frequently he used to come over there in front of him and challenging. So but every time what happened, he increased his height more than it. Okay. So frequently the height was increasing. Now once that person will had come and again challenged. Now this time the height of that man was more than the king. He challenged him. He was strong and he killed that king. Now are you getting this story, girls? This king is nothing but you, yourself, and that small Ded Futia is your doubt. So every time if you are neglecting your doubt, then it will bigger and bigger, become bigger and bigger, and come in front of you and finish to you sometimes. So it is very important to clear the doubts in time. So please, this session is for you to ask the question, because somebody is there to solve that query when it is smaller than Ded Futia.
Yes.
Thank
Very
you.
nice story, madam. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, students, anyone? Sumaya, first of all, am I audible? There was
Yes,
problem.
you are audible, ma'am.
You are
Okay.
audible, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Students, you can ask your doubts as ma'am directed you to do so.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ma'am, I have a question that we have to study the question bank as a priority or the textbook.
No, actually, you are to study the textbook first, and in which pattern the questions can be asked. That can be a specimen to you from the question bank. All the questions from the question bank may not be there in the question paper, remember, or rather, the it will just give you the type of question paper or the type of questions which can be or which may be asked in the exam. It's not so that if you just study the question bank, you will see similar questions in the paper. No, it's not so. But it is just to give you idea that on such and such unit, how the questions can be asked, in which type the question can be. That can be understood with the help of that question bank. It is just for you to write down the answers in the given or in the asked format. And if the derivation is asked, then to how much length the derivation should be. If a note is asked, or if the explanation is asked, then according to marks, you need to adjust your answer. To give you practice of that, the question bank is displayed by the board.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good
Girls,
morning.
be ready with your questions.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I have a doubt in chapter 7, wave optics.
Okay.
If the question is asked about give a brief account on hygiene's theory,
Ah.
so what exactly we have to write over there? The full theory or some specific points in that?
So whenever such descriptive questions are asked, you need to first describe the hygiene's theory. What was his assumptions? How he talked about the primary sources, how the secondary sources are generated, about that, and just describe about one of the wavefronts or the propagation of wavefront a little bit, not too much, a little bit. Okay, that is first of all the assumption of luminiferous ether or the hypothetical medium. Then later on it was explained by Maxwell that this is not the thing, we don't need it, or this medium is not in existence. Such things you can add in your description. Okay, whenever descriptive questions are asked, do write the description, but to the point. Okay, you need not describe the Newton's corpuscular theory in hygiene's wave theory. Remember, okay? Or you can just write down the last step as the application of hygiene's theory or the supplementary things of hygiene's theory. The refraction, reflection, interference, diffraction, these things were explained based on hygiene's wave theory. That would be an additional weightage to your answer. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, next.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Beta.
Ma'am, I have a question. Like we have the question of first lesson, like state and explain theorems of parallel axis. So
Yes.
while solving such kind of questions, what points should we keep in mind?
Yes. First thing is, whenever the question is of state and explain, means you are to start from statement only. This should be the first point, right? Okay. So first statement, and the statement has to be very much identical. Means rather it should be a Xerox copy. It should be a Xerox copy, photocopy of the statement given in our textbook. Remember that. Okay. We are not allowed to displace, to modify, to add any of the words in the statement, definition, laws, principles, or rules, and theorems. Remember. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
So this is for statement. And explanation. In this explanation, you need to draw the diagram and you need to derive that particular expression. Means if we are talking about parallel axis theorem, then you are to draw the diagram showing the parallel axis, describing the system that is a rigid body having this axis of rotation passing through center of mass and then passing through any other point O. Parallel axis you are to describe. Then have the derivation of IO is equal to IC plus MH square or MR square. Till that point you must come. That will be your last step. State and explain. Because the question will be for 3 marks.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, ma'am, the questions such as can you tell, do you know, read, remember this, ma'am, such questions, should we give particular this concentration on it, or we should leave then, like after chapter we'll complete it again?
No. You need to solve it at that time only. Don't give extra time for that afterwards. No. Enough in the flow. If you are able to know the answer quickly, just write it in the flow itself. Now, whether can you or what is the meaning, what can you say, is it possible, all such, if judgment questions are there, okay, or your opinion questions are there, then write your opinion according to marks. Remember,
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, and let the answers or the points from the textbook should appear in your answer. For example, just have the answer of this question, that why we add detergent powder in the water for washing clothes. And just open that book, open the page number, open the book if you have in front of you. It's a very nice question. I forgot to tell you about this. Just open that question, open the book rather, and mechanical properties of fluid, and the page number is, I'll let you know the page number also.
39.
39, is it? Okay, just a second. I'll check. I'll check. Ah, yes, effect of impurities. 39 page. Yes, very correct. Now see the thing. See the second point from effect of impurities, and just read it. I'll read it for you. See. Okay, am I audible?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, see the thing. When a sparingly soluble substance such as phenol or a detergent is mixed with water, surface tension of water decreases. So this should be your first point. Surface tension of water decreases when the detergent powder is mixed in it. Next, when the complete example is very well explained in this. A detergent powder is mixed with water to wash clothes. Due to this, now this is very important. First thing is the fact which we know, but why is it there? That's explained ahead. See the thing. Due to this, the surface tension of water decreases, and water makes good contact with the fabric and is able to remove tough stains. These 3 points, they must be there in your answer. If you just write down that adding the detergent powder in water decreases the surface tension of the water, I'll give you 0 mark, remember.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, the answer should be carried further, and it should be mentioning about the water making good contact with the surface of cloth or with the fabric, and thus it is able to remove tough stains. This should be your complete answer. Means if the question is there for 1 mark, don't just think it from the point of view of that mark, that only one line or only one word is enough. But such descriptive questions, if such judgmental or give reasons type of questions are there, be sure that all the matter which is explained in the answer in the book should be reflected, or it is reflected in your answer also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome, madam.
Next.
Yes.
Ma'am, from the chapters electrostatics and electric current, can we get the important topics which are need to be studied? Exactly.
Electrostatics and electric current means the chapter number 8 and 10, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, there is no such IMP as such. Okay? 8 and 10. No, not means you yourself come out with the things. Just read the chapter twice or thrice. Understand your strengths and weaknesses from this chapter. Thus, the units which you can study easily, which you can remember easily, study them. Okay? The units which you are not able to study properly, see whether what is the thing which is not understood by you. Okay? Try to understand that again and again. Okay? There are lot many videos available on the YouTube. Lot many explanations are there. You also may be having many notes with you. You will certainly be able to know all these things And eventually you will complete these 2 chapters also. But think about the negative side also. If at all you are not able to solve, say 2 or 3 topics, or not to understand 2 or 3 topics from this, but these 2 chapters say, then what I'll suggest is currently focus on the things which you can do very properly from these two chapters also. And those 2 or 3 topics, if you are very much uncomfortable with it, or studying a lot, you are not able to understand 1 or 2 topics, leave them aside for now. Concentrate on the chapters, on the things which you are able to study. Strengthen your strong points first. Okay. And then think about this. It's so many times it so happens that after revising the initial things, automatically the next thing also you are able to manage. You are able to study. As our madam told you the story about that dead footiya, such thing is there in this study also. If you increase your ability, analytical ability day by day, eventually after 10 or 15 days, you only will understand yourself with this increased capacity, and you can study that particular difficult topic also. Trust yourself and trust on your hard work, and more positively trust on your brain.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody is there?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that the question bank is having a little bit of reduced syllabus questions as well. So are we supposed to do that? And
No.
I wanted to ask that how should the paper must be written so that it's appealing to the examiner?
Okay, about the presentation, as I told you, the way in which I have told you the to attempt, if you attempt in that particular fashion, it's more than sufficient. But if at all you need to have more attention to your paper, as everyone will like actually, I'll give you few tips. First thing is, if you are writing down the derivations, underline the key steps in your derivations. You have derived the pressure, say, given by gas molecules on the wall of the container. So in that, underline the key steps, more important steps can be underlined. But remember, with pencil only. You are not allowed to have colored pencils in your answer paper. Only with black pencil. Okay. Next, you can make a square box for the answers of the numericals, as you used to do it in your school standards. Don't forget to write down proper units. Remember, wherever physical quantity is there, think of units in your mind. It should be associated. As we have associated our name with our surname, similarly, the number with its surname, that is unit, has to be there. Okay. Then after every question, mark a line with pencil. After every section, mark a double line with pencil. And that much is very sufficient. And yeah, one thing I forgot to tell you. Whatever rough work you want to do, do it in the last page of your answer paper. Mark, label it first on the on the first line. Label it as a rough page. Label that page, and then write down all the pencil things in that. Next thing, if you want to have rough work for your numericals, let that numerical rough work is done on the same page, in the same space where you are actually solving the numerical. Don't do any rough work of your numericals at the last page. No, do it in that particular section only, little bit below the actual space needed for calculations. Or even if you do it in your margin of your right hand, you have the habit of drawing margin to right hand of the answer paper also, right? So leave that space for your rough work, for arithmetic work. Okay, numerical rough work should be there in that particular section only. I repeat. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. And don't erase that. Just mark that as rough and let it be as it is. Okay. Don't take efforts to erase out all those things. No need.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, anybody else is there?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if anyone is just thinking to skip a chapter or two, so is it good or matlab, is it good or no?
Yeah. It will be good for him or her. It should be rather. Because see that in the paper itself, 30% option is given to you. Right? So why can't we, means why shouldn't we take benefit of that? Right? If I am having a problem in studying all these 16 chapters, I can simply just omit 1 or 2 chapters, but then I should be very much confident of others. See, though out of what marks are scored of any person, scored by any person, if you just ask him or her, he'll also tell you that, no, I haven't studied, means I haven't finished studying. Remember, study has no end, or studying has no end. Okay, just be this in mind, keep this in mind. So you must take a step ahead every time. You must score your marks in every exam. That's why I have asked you to solve at least 3 or 4 papers, question papers. By that, for still solving of question paper 1, I have studied say 10 chapters. I have scored 40 marks on that. It's good. For the next session, I am confident about these 10 chapters. I'll study 1 more chapter. I'll study 11 chapter. I'll see how many more marks I can get. If I'm getting 45 marks, I am confident. I'm congratulating myself. Remember, rather than ending up with 20 marks or 15 marks or 10 marks even, and with lot of nervousness, with losing confidence at the end of exam, it's always better to understand ourselves, to limit ourselves to say 70%, 80% of the portion, and be confident on say 50 or 60% of marks. That's my view. Your views may differ from this, but see with how many things you are comfortable, and go accordingly. Always have you in a relaxed state, in confident or comfortable state. Always. This is what I think.
Thank you,
This
ma'am.
benefits you. But for scorers, if you are comfortable with all the chapters, then study hard. Nobody is going to stop you from that.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if time permits for exam, like I have saved much time,
Yeah.
so while solving extra questions, we should solve in the same section, or we can solve it at last.
In the same section. In the same
Yes, ma'am.
section.
So ma'am, we should
Never.
leave the space while
Yeah,
writing.
yes. That's why I told you that wherever the section is completed, leave that page.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you think that no page is now remaining, just leave a page for extra question. Okay, just leave a page in between, doesn't matter at all. But no way you will write the extra questions in the last. No.
Yes, girls. Next.
Is there anyone who want to ask, or shall we proceed, girls? Thank you very much, ma'am.
My pleasure. All the best to your students, and hopefully you all will come up with very nice marks, and let us know your results also, and plan your studies accordingly, and see whether my lecture is helpful to you or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I request our supervisor, Tasneem Shirkar ma'am, to please address the audience. Tasneem ma'am.
I think Tasnim ma'am is not there.
I think she got disconnected.
Okay. So Zubeda ma'am is there for vote of thanks.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm trying to call Tasneem ma'am. Just give me a minute.
Oh, Sumaya Miss, am I audible? There was some technical issue.
Yeah, I understood. Yes, ma'am, you
Am I
are audible.
Okay. Good morning, all of you first. Good morning, ma'am.
Good
And
morning.
I will actually in the beginning, there was due to technical issue, we could not
Yes.
welcome you. We were waiting for our vice principal, but due to some important meeting, he could not join in.
Okay.
But he gave his best wishes for today's program.
So nice of him.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Today, Madam Havaldar Madam virtually took us to the examination hall. Really, ma'am. Where our girls not only wrote papers following all the instructions given by you, but they also wrote it with zero stress, hashtag. And these all instructions will be helpful not only to solve physics paper, but for all the subjects.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Madam, today you have not only guided our students regarding board paper writing techniques, but you also guided them for real life situation. You told them to believe yourself, appreciate yourself, congratulate yourself, be confident. In short, Madam wants you girls to believe yourself and to realize your worth. So being girl, it is very important for yourself to understand your worth, to understand your weakness, and to understand your strength. As far as my association with Madam goes, I have closely worked with Madam, and I always found that she always utilizes her time in some constructive activities. She always tries to upgrade and update her knowledge, which is best example for our girls. So girls, she is not only a teacher for physics, but we always keen to call her because she always talks about how to take the situation positive. So it always helps the students because sometimes we just go blank during the exam. So now I hope you students will remember now how 1 hour goes and what you told them, what to do. And especially when you're tense, to remember some happy moment so that you feel again you can with new energy you start writing your paper. So thank you so much for all those hints and tips to solve our board exam paper. Especially in the beginning you told that whatever list is given regarding deleted portion, don't consider it as deleted, consider it as a term, appropriate term you told, non-evaluative, because being science students you may have to appear, most of you will be appearing for competitive exams, and there we cannot leave that topic. And as far as our college goes, ma'am, our teachers have not left anything. They have
Yes,
kept
that's
the
true.
continuity.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have
So
kept
loyal
the
to teachers. Yes, I
So we have
appreciate that.
taught them. We taught them because you know some of the topic you cannot just go further without
No,
teaching.
yeah, yes, it's so true.
So thank you so much for all the guidance, and we are happy to have you with us. And I hand over now the meeting control to Zubeda Miss. She wants to say something about today's lecture.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was my pleasure to.
Am I audible? Thank you, Tasni madam.
Yes,
Good
ma'am, you are
afternoon.
audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all present here. On behalf of Abeda Inamdar Junior College for Girls, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Manisha Havaldar madam for taking out time from her busy schedule and guiding our students for the upcoming HSC examination. Madam, I must say that your lecture was highly informative, and the important tips you shared with our students regarding easy, average, and difficult questions, the time management, how to drill the panic pandemic situations, anxiety of physics, and how to manage the numericals with theory and the brain tablets, and a very interesting virtual experience of examination hall will surely fruitful to our students. I would like to express my sincere thanks to principal, vice principal, supervisor for their support and encouragement. And the special thanks to my colleagues and our dearest students for patience listening and of course their cooperation. And I will dedicate a share to Manisha madam. कोई जब्त दे ना जलाल दे मुझे सिर्फ इतना कमाल दे कोई जब्त दे ना जलाल दे मुझे सिर्फ इतना कमाल दे मैं हर एक की सदा बनूं मैं हर एक की सदा बनूं कि जमाना मेरी मिसाल दे. Once again, a very big thanks to one and
So
all
nice of
present
you,
here
ma'am. So nice of you.
and for my lovely students. आज वक्त की पुकार सुन ले ए नौजवान आज वक्त की पुकार सुन ले ए नौजवान इल्म हासिल कर और बन जा रहबरे जहां इल्म हासिल कर और बन जा रहबरे जहां. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all of you, and all the best to everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
Thank
you
much.
you,
so
ma'am.
much.